and welcome back to my channel. Someone recently told me they felt overwhelmed by the turbulent and what she called unsettled month of May, and asked me, was June going to be any easier? I immediately thought of Mercury in retrograde until the 3rd of June, when we would see it start to move forward. And I always love the new moon, a time for new beginnings. And to me, it's as though I get a second chance at every new moon, perhaps a second chance to do something differently. So you see, it was easy for me to get excited by the new moon on the 30th of May. If it's your first time, I'm Elie, a holistic therapist, and I specialise in energy work, energy that is all around us. This May new moon is the final lunar cycle of spring. So if you have seen previous videos, spring is a time to plant those seeds of intention, while Mercury retrograde could be mixing up the energies a bit. Don't worry, we will find a week or so into May will bring balance, clarity, and may even help us get more in tune and aligned again. And of course, this will be the first new moon since we have been through eclipse season, and all eclipses can be quite intense. So what does all this mean? Firstly, a little more stability, perhaps less surprises and more calm, allowing us to be more grounded. This will lead to a better understanding of our truth and what we seek. This would be an ideal time to meditate, contemplate, or to learn the art of meditation, which can help us make sense of what chaos we may be moving away from and the lessons learned. So you can see already how understanding the energies can help us move forward with more ease and clarity. Now, new moon in Gemini is all about creating connections. It's about communication, and the communication is all kinds, not just speech, but are we hearing clearly? As well as others, are they understanding and hearing us clearly? Gemini is also about logic, so when combined with the new moon, it can help us mentally sort through our feelings and emotions. And those feelings that we need to express perhaps more clearly, with Gemini, think duality, think polar opposites, two sides of the same coin. We can't have one without the other. And what we know is everything has its polar opposite. Just as morning follows night, everything has its opposite. The highs are followed by lows, and vice versa. We all know change is inevitable. The good, the bad, everything changes. This could be something we meditate on, particularly if we feel we need help in this area, or simply to make sense of it, to truly understand this theory of opposites. As I have already mentioned, this new moon launches us into the last lunar cycle of spring. And if we are working with the medicine wheel, we are looking forward to the warmth and the high energy that the summer season can bring us, with its feeling of hope. We can expect change and inspiration, inspiring us to put our ideas in motion and to take action with the plans and ideas we may be working on. Because of the social nature of Gemini and being an air element, this new moon is also a beautiful time to connect with people we may feel close to and express more freely how we feel and our emotions. A great time to become the social butterfly and make calls to old friends, chat with colleagues at work, become more sociable generally. This is also a fun energy, so make it sociable. And if you have lots of ideas swirling around in your head and you haven't already started a moon journal, then this is most definitely the right time, especially if you have a sense of restlessness as you jump from one idea to another. That is the air element, naturally busy. So keeping a moon journal is not just beneficial in helping us to understand the energies at the time of each new moon, but also helps us to process our thoughts. And specifically at this time in Gemini, it can help to ease any potential confusion due to the duality of the energies. And any dilemmas can help to ease stress and reflect on where we are and help us process the changes we seek to create or manifest. Keeping a moon journal is not just beneficial in helping us to understand the energies at each new moon, but can also help to process our thoughts, specifically at this time, as the energies in Gemini can sometimes be confusing. So keeping a moon journal can help us to understand and process our thoughts, helping to ease or prevent any potential confusion due to the duality of the energies, or perhaps any dilemmas can be avoided or rebalanced, and certainly can help to ease stress as we reflect on where we are and help us process the changes we seek. So let's have a look now at other energies that this month brings. And at the end of the video, as always, we will look at the card, the tarot card that is represented by Gemini, which is the Lover's card. And the Lover's card is all about choices, decisions, dilemmas. This brings me to choices. The energy at this new moon could well present many choices. However, Gemini is an air element, like me. So we're often distracted. If you too are air, be mindful of this time. So, what does this mean to us, whether we are Gemini or not? We're all affected by many influences, and I'm just going to look at some around this new moon and hope that we can all work with them, and that they don't just pass us by like chaos or random events. As we know, life is not random at all. So let's begin with looking at Gemini and the ruling planet Mercury, which is all about communication. So we have Gemini, air element, which is not static. It's movement, moving all over the place, mental energy. The energy is quick, impulsive, often skimming the surface, and could be said to manage and keep a host of projects or hobbies, having a variety of interests. But the downside is they may not be fully committed to any specific area. This is a mental energy full of ideas, but not necessarily a doing energy. So be mindful of this. But the positive is when Geminis do find their niche, they can juggle two different areas in their life very well. So now this could actually be something that you'd like to connect with at this time. So perhaps work and home, for example, could be mastered by the Gemini energy. Mercury rules Gemini and is the planet that presents and uncovers information. So this may be a good time to seek guidance or advice. But as I've been talking about, it is important that you get your information from a reputable source, as the energy at this time brings a risk that you may just believe the information and run with it, and yep, mistakes can obviously happen if that's what we do. So be prepared to do research, because this Gemini energy is not about research. The Gemini energy isn't always about gathering facts, but more about believing in their own understanding, regardless to whether it's factual or not. The other important aspect to this is choice. What do you believe? Will you choose to believe what you are being told, or what you feel? Will you choose to accept the information as truth, or do you go and research? This is not a time to take risks, but a time to know the truth. And it's so important to avoid mistakes. Now, as you know, if you have seen my previous videos or attended my workshops on the new moon or even tarot, I always like to cover the tarot card which is associated with that specific zodiac, the specific astrological sign at the new moon. And this new moon, Gemini, well, may come as no surprise that it is the Lover's card, which of course is all about choices. Now, I won't say much more about choices or about the Lover's card, as I will be covering it later in this video. Around this new moon, You may feel a need to move around more at this time and become the social butterfly and be a great communicator of what you are all about. But be very careful at this time when you are sharing any information that you have learned or picked up, that it is correct and accurate. Force yourself to do the research. You may find the energy so quick and impulsive, you forget to confirm if the information is true. So at this time, be super mindful, step back as people share their information and insight, and just be the observer. As I have said, it is a time to share, to have understanding and knowledge, time to meet new people, communicate and grow with other like-minded souls. But as this Gemini energy will be fast-paced, it will be easy to just skim the surface, as the energy is not about research or analysis. It's more about gathering information. So it's just a warning there. At the new moon, whatever you are doing or where you are going, the flow of communication may be evident. And it's not just about talking, but listening too. For this reason, find balance, seek advice, think before you speak. Communication is also about writing, about telephone calls. This energy is of every kind of communication. And today there is the world of social media. Be careful what you say and share and what you hear. You could focus on your throat chakra. Breathe a blue, calming colour into your throat area and allow a sense of peace to take place. Perhaps do this often, breathing in blue, and sense or see or feel what you breathe out with your out breath. Is it a darker blue? Is it grey perhaps? Just find yourself breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth until you feel a sense of balance. This may help to become more mindful of communication. I like to work with sodalite, which is blue, and also green aventurine, which connects to the heart chakra. So if you have some sodalite and green aventurine, you may find that communication softens and is both shared and received with love. Take time to understand and even analyze anything that can bring you to the facts of the matter. This will avoid the risk of any confusion or disagreements. Mercury has a real yearning for knowledge and to share the interpretation of that knowledge. So, an excellent time for writers, bloggers, any communicator, and also a fantastic time for teaching. If you don't journal, then there couldn't be a better new moon to start keeping a journal. Let us now look at other influences before we go into the tarot card that represents these energies that I have been talking about. So the tarot card is the Lover's card, and it's just a different way of looking at the energies, just a different perspective. But first, let's look at where we are on the medicine wheel. The time is May the 21st to June the 20th. The moon name is Corn Planting Moon. Animal medicine is deer. Plant totem is yarrow. Mineral is moss agate. Colour green and white. The spirit keeper is eagle. The power direction, we are still in east. The last stage of east. The element is air, and the element clan is butterfly.
The Lover's card is often shown with Cupid ready to strike and 3 figures, suggesting the need to make choices. Now, the choices here could indeed be between 2 people, but more often the choice is about what we truly seek in a relationship. At this stage of the journey, it is like that first love experience, which can make us giddy and bring joy and happiness. Yet, how many times have we made foolish choices? or believed we was in love when it was lust. The Lovers is about every area, every aspect of love and romance, and asks us to stop and think, what do we truly want? What are we looking for? Is it a long-term commitment, or simply instant gratification? We have to find these answers for ourselves. So for this reason, the Lovers encourages us to understand our own needs and what we can offer a relationship. So it's about understanding before we can make the right choices. Right or wrong, we will make a choice. And when we do, we will find ourselves in the driving seat. The Lovers. This card quite often appears when the questioner is looking for love or feels ready to let love and romance into their lives. The card is, however, all about choices, emotional choices, or choices that somehow make us look at ourselves more deeply, asking us, for example, what we seek in a relationship. Is it love or lust? So occasionally the choice is between two people, but that is not always the case. The choice could be two paths. The card could be inviting you to consider where you are and what you truly seek. Are you wanting to stay with what you know, with where you are, or take a different path? Whatever the choice, it is never easy or straightforward. Therefore, the appearance of the card is telling you to think carefully, think deeply. There are always gains and losses in all of life's choices. But sometimes it is through sacrifice that we make the greatest personal growth. The appearance of the Lover's card reminds us change is always an option. And it is never anything to fear. Each of the major cards can be used to make changes in our lives. They are archetypes of people or situations, providing an excellent point of focus for the changes we seek to attract, or perhaps what we may wish to dispel or banish from our lives. working with the lovers, I would say the best exercise would be to examine your true desires and needs. Will these be achieved within a relationship, or are you looking for happiness in the wrong place? I think this exercise is very much about finding out who we truly are, what we truly seek, what we truly need. Remember, happiness is a choice, and it is understanding that it is not dependent on another person. Another person cannot make you happy unless you allow it. Happiness comes from you. So it could be said that happiness means different things to different people. But what we can agree on, it is not dependent on anyone else. So this exercise is all about truly understanding your needs, but also what you have to offer in a relationship. So, for this exercise, you can use pen and paper and make 2 lists. On the left, the heading could read, what you have to offer in a relationship. The list on the right could read, what you seek in a relationship. Take time with this exercise and reflect on your findings. Your strengths and attributes will make you realize how much worth you have. The other lists can show you where you stand in a relationship. Take time with this exercise. And most of all, enjoy your journey of self-discovery.